mamas, Lord knows we have enough TikTok theories where it's like a few words, theory. But there is one specific one that just hits the nail on the head so well, and it's called the bean soup theory. Where did it get such a funny, silly name from, you might ask? Well, how about you sit down for this caper, this tale. Someone made a recipe for a bean soup one day. Just a typical bean soup. And every single comment was saying, well, what if I don't like beans? What if I can't eat beans? What if I can't digest beans? Then don't make fucking bean soup. That is the crux of the entire theory. And you might think, okay, what does that apply to? Well, if you've spent any time at all on the internet, in any public space on the internet, like a comment section on TikTok, and even, unfortunately, sometimes in real life, in real life public spaces now, especially with like Gen Z groups of people, you've noticed a little bit of a "what about me" type of mantra that a lot of people have taken on. A lot of "what about me" isms. People expecting things to be tailored to them, and always finding ways for anything that they interact with in their life to apply specifically to them. The sheer concept of something just simply not being for you, not being made for you, is almost baffling. It's almost impossible to reconcile with in their brain. So they have to find ways to reach out, whether it be like in a comment, being like, but make this more palatable for me, make this more accessible for me. And there's a few reasons how we got to this. The broad consensus is that we lost something along with a lot of other things during the COVID times. We lost a lot of social skills. We lost a lot of comprehension skills. And that's due to a lot of things. It's due to being locked inside, freaking but also, one thing that came from that era is getting stuck in our own little bubbles, having algorithms tailor all of our interests so that everything that we consume is things that specifically we are interested in. There's no like broad moments that happen in pop culture for the most part outside of like a handful of things. Everyone is living their own like singular experiences, and some are so different from each other's that they can't even really connect with them on a human level. I believe that what makes for like a good civil society is a common understanding amongst everyone that participates in it that we have critical thinking skills. It is one of the most important things that they teach in school, which is understandable why during COVID, when some people's educations were not exactly stellar, that could be lost. But what was once like a time where like critical thinking skills were like so ingrained as an important thing to know and use, it's no longer the status quo. The status quo has unfortunately been dropped to where now it is completely normal and sometimes expected amongst some people for things to be explained to them, for things to be dumbed down. And I'm not saying that like if you had an education experience during COVID that you are dumb, or if you struggle here and there with comprehending things, because some people are confusing. But that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is the broader case of people needing things to be tailored to them and not putting in any real effort from their own minds to try and participate in a conversation. I think what a lot of people are looking for online is for like pieces of content, pieces of media, discussions and discourses to be exactly tailored to them. And if it's not, it short circuits their minds, and it's so scary. It's so scary. Now, how widespread is this? I don't know. I would love if there was like a sociologist out there doing a study on this, because I'm so curious. I think on the good end, it's like just like TikTok commenters in the US, but who knows? Is this a global issue? But I've certainly experienced this like outside the internet, which is like, I don't even think, like I used to be very online, and I think I wouldn't talk about this if it wasn't like if I hadn't met these kind of people outside of the internet. But genuinely, the whataboutism has like infected everywhere. There needs to be like some, like when I go out and interact with people and participate in society, I understand that there are certain concessions and certain things that I have to, concede to, assimilate into, to have a good time for everyone else and for myself. What I mean by that is you give and you take, okay? You can't expect people to bend over back. You shouldn't have to bend over backwards for others to converse or take part in a discourse or just live your life. But people also shouldn't have to bend over backwards for you. Obviously, it's a treat when they do. But it brings me to my broader point. These are like two kind of like parallel things I wanted to talk about, but I guess we'll just do it in one episode. You deserve nothing. It is a mantra that I have been kind of thinking about recently. And when I say you deserve nothing, I am not saying it in a mean-spirited way. I'm not saying it in a way to make you feel bad about yourself. I'm saying it in the way that it is a natural fact of living in the universe, that you deserve nothing. When you're born and you come into this world, you're given no guarantees, okay? You could be born in like Sweden or like a Scandinavian country and win like the biological lottery, or you could be born in a less fortunate place. And like from birth to when you die, every good thing that happens to you is not like because something like came your way. Or as much as I like to believe in karma, I think when I really think about it, and I think maybe it's not really real, rats, I start to realize that like when you approach life by kind of thinking like I don't deserve anything, it makes the things that do come your way that are good a lot better, as well as the things that come your way that are bad a lot easier to swallow. So like I think for a while, like when I first became an adult and stuff, and I was starting to like take on the world by myself and stuff, and I had this mantra really ingrained in me. Anytime something happened, I was like overwhelmed with gratitude, because it's like it didn't have to happen to me. I didn't deserve it, because like I was just born like everyone else. So it made like every win, every lucky thing that happened to me feel so much better, I guess you could say. But then conversely, whenever bad things would happen, it allowed me to like not take things as personally, because it's like, well, I'm just like everybody else, and like things just happen. And I don't mean to like say, and I'm not saying like this is the way to live or anything like that. Like I'm not like some fucking guru or anything. But I will say from my personal experience, it makes living a little bit easier, because not to the extent where you're like detaching yourself from like reality and being like nothing matters at all. I am nothing and I deserve nothing. Like I don't think you should be like a white dude that goes into like the forest in like Brazil and like takes ayahuasca and has like an ego death and is like, hello, I am new. I am a soul in this world. Like, no. But like within reason, just realize it. I do think it is a natural fact that like we deserve nothing. Like we're literally just born. So I should mention, I haven't always like gone through life with this kind of mantra. There probably more recently was a time where I kind of like started to get a little bit too comfortable, and I started to think that like when good things started happening like frequently and like almost like scheduled, I started to think, okay, well, like I can expect this and I do deserve this, and when it doesn't happen, that's like a bad thing. Like I like probably like when I first like got like a stable income, like I kind of expected that to be a thing forever, which is not the case. I could get robbed. Someone could just come into my house, steal my debit card. Well, actually, I don't know. I don't know if you can actually go to the bank with your debit card and just be like, give it all to me. And they will give it to you. I feel like in my mind, they have like $200 behind the counter and that's it. But I don't know. Like something could happen and I could go broke tomorrow. And like that would be so scary to me. I mean, like obviously like a little bit still scary. Like hello, would love to not be broke ever again. Isn't that that's a rapper's name? Young boy never broke again. At first I thought it was because it was a Young Boy NBA, and I thought it was like a basketball thing. And anytime I hear anything about the NBA, the NFL, my brain shuts off and I don't know what everyone's talking about. So I think I blacklisted him from my brain because I thought it was a basketball thing, but it's never broke again. But I don't think I would want to be broke again. But I think 2 years ago, the thought of that ever happening was like so horrifying because I started to expect the comforts that I had in my life, which are not real. Because you do not deserve anything. You don't. Now, if we want to take the karma approach to life, where, which I still like kind of half believe in, where like if you do good things come back to you, then, you know, like I would say like you deserve things. Like if you're like Mother Teresa or something and you spend your whole life doing good things, like yes, good things should come back to you. Like if you're Greta Thunberg, good things should like come back to her. Like bean soup theory, biba yabba dabba doo theory. How about you need medical attention theory? How about where's your family doctor theory? And that was a theory that I used to believe in myself because where was my family doctor? I used to not have one. For the longest time, I was without a doctor because it is just very daunting to try and figure that out yourself as an adult in this world on where to find someone who can make sure that you are going to live healthy. But thankfully, I got ZocDoc. ZocDoc is a free app and website where you can search and compare high-quality in-network doctors and click to instantly book an appointment, okay? You can get some appointments literally within 24 hours. It's magical, mystical. Okay, not doing that. And once you find the right doctor, you can see their actual appointment openings, choose a time slot that works for you, and click to instantly book a visit. It's beautiful. So stop putting off those doctor's appointments and go to ZocDoc.com/mama to find and instantly book a top-rated doctor today. That's ZocDoc.com/mama, ZocDoc.com/mama. Let's continue. But anyways, I bring this all up, and listen, we need a TikTok theory name for this, for what I'm talking about. But I bring it up because it's kind of parallel to the bean soup theory, because I realized that having this mantra, like realizing that like, and I'm not saying that like I'm not saying this to like do like moral posturing or like be like, I'm so humble. It is like literally just the truth. I deserve nothing and you deserve nothing. And anything that we get is a bonus and yippee. And anything bad that happens to us, well, it's nothing personal and like it just happens. I bring it up because that is kind of like the ideological opposite of bean soup theory, because bean soup theory is expecting things to be tailored to you, expecting things to be put in a nice little smoothie and be digestible, whether you like beans or not. And so like ever since I Googled it, I feel like I've been getting like so many like podcasts and like TikToks of people like talking about it, and it's like not even like a real thing. I also should put that out there, like it's not like a real theory. This is not like a academic theory. We do need, that's a separate conversation. We need to stop just calling everything on TikTok like a theory, but it does work for this, like I gotta say. So you can, when you think about bean soup theory, you probably can picture some people in your life, or at least even just circumstances and incidents where people have been bean souping it up. People have been little demons that need everything tailored to them, perfectly fitted like a suit. So how do you deal with those people? Well, I'm going to hold your hand when I say this. And if some of this applies to you, it's not, listen, everyone is a victim of COVID. Everyone is a victim of the collective brain rot of the past 6 years. The way it's going to be the way COVID will have been 6 years ago in like a few months. Whoa. Cool. First thing, do not reward people that need explanations within reason, okay? If you're going like yabba dabba doo and like actually not making any sense, like there's been times where I like took an edible and then like made like a TikTok, like a minute long like talking TikTok where I like actually didn't make any sense. Like that's exempt from this criticism, but like for the most part, if you're making sense, do not reward people that are begging for an explanation, being like, what does this mean? Or like, I'm 12. What does this mean? Ignore them. Next, do not over-explain yourself. This is like kind of goes hand in hand with the last point, but if you have to talk around in circles to make something make sense to someone who's not understanding it. No. What we forget, and I'm not the one who should be saying this because I don't really speak eloquently 90% of the time. And I swear like a sailor. But the English language is an art form. Yes, it is. And so is every other language. It is an art form as well. Yes, it has its utilitarian like uses, and some people would wish that they could have things communicated to them in like fucking monkey ass, but that's what we evolved from monkeys for, so that we can talk colorfully and in fun ways, and make little puzzles with our words that other people have to use their brains to reconstruct and transcribe. That's the point of English. The point of English is not to dumb things down. Next up, do not clarify things that are clear to people with critical thinking skills. Also bandwagoning off of that point. There is let's just say, on the internet, you should expect, and I'm just declaring it now because I'm the president, you should be talking at least, and I know this might be pushing it for some people, a 10th grade reading level. If you can't understand above a 10th grade reading level, maybe the public forum is not for you. That sounds harsh, but I don't care. Like, you have to, it gets to a point. You have to set some sort of standard for what our communication levels can be. Otherwise, like, you'll just run into constant problems. Like the way on the internet, you could literally be talking to a 6-year-old in a comment section that has bypassed you have to be above 13 years old to make a TikTok account, which even that is crazy that there's 13-year-olds on TikTok. But you shouldn't have to, if it takes a reasonable amount of critical thinking skills to decode something that you are saying, then that is fully valid to stand up on its own in a comment section, in a video. You should not have to explain yourself further. Moving along. Do not apologize for people not being able to understand that not everything has to appeal to them or align with their values. This is also a tough one for some people to comprehend, and I'll agree sometimes. Sometimes my immediate gut reaction to things is like, well, I don't like this. This sucks. Things don't just naturally suck. Things don't objectively suck. Things are not objectively good. The number 1 rated movie on Letterboxd still isn't objectively good, and the worst movie ever isn't objectively bad. Things like movies, art, and even like discussions and discourse are subjective. They are different to every single person. See, this is what your teacher should have been telling you during the pandemic, but I'll take on the onus and I'll say it for them because maybe we've lost this. Maybe we forgot this. Everything will apply to people differently, and that is okay, and that's beautiful, and that's the point of media and art and movies and being able to argue and disagree with each other. When things naturally and inevitably don't apply to you, it's the bean soup theory, baby. you don't have to eat the fucking bean soup. If you don't like something, you don't have to interact with it. And this goes for, you could even make the argument that like wanting to enforce the values of the bean soup theory on the general public is me tailoring what I would like the internet to be onto the vast internet. But let this one theory be exempt, because I think it's rooted in some necessity, you could say. Now, if I've like inadvertently called you out during this, as I said before, it's no hard feelings. It's a natural thing that happens when we go through a fucking pandemic and we all have our brains manipulated by algorithms. It's natural, okay? But there are ways you can be more aware of it. The 4 things that I mentioned earlier to not do, those mostly apply to if you're dealing with someone that is not in accordance with the bean soup theory. Thank you very much. But if you are one of the people who finds yourself struggling in this world to grasp concepts or like feel just like a need for things to be tailored to you, try just like once a week, just allowing things to not fall into your bucket, to be outside of your frame of reference. Try, if something is confusing to you, instead of like asking in a comment, can you explain this, to like parasocially to a person who's never going to read the comment, try researching it yourself. Try looking, like, say someone is talking about, say there's a TikTok in the first 15 seconds, they're like, I can't believe that Howie Mandel is canceled. I don't know. I'm just making shit up. Instead of saying, wait, what did Howie Mandel do? No. What you're going to do is you're going to research that yourself. Actually, no, this is a perfect example because this is like the amount of times I'll see like a random TikToker and the blue bar will just be like blank allegations, and then it's nothing, and then it's literally nothing. They're like, they don't even exist. It's like someone commented that and then it became like a blue search bar thing. So say you see a TikTok and it's like, it's the Michelin Man allegations. Instead of saying, what did everyone's favorite mascot for tires and fine dining do, Google Michelin Man and see if there's anything about him that has been problematic. Or maybe was there a guy in a Michelin Man costume that hit someone and ran someone over in a car? Or is there absolutely nothing? Will you spend a minute looking, hitting the news tab on Google, seeing that there's no coverage about it at all, and realizing that it's nothing, instead of the opposite, commenting, waiting for someone to reply, which could even be like something that's not even true, and then just going with it and live and further deepening yourself into a little bubble and a hole in the ground like a little fucking gopher. Try that. Try letting things just not make sense. If it's something that you can still like look up, and you still just like don't even really agree with it, just try acknowledging that that's that person's point of view and this is your point of view, and there's a whole world in between them, and quite possibly you two might never even understand each other on each other's point of views, and that you don't have to interact with that person. You could be civil, but you never have to talk to that person if you don't want to, especially someone online, obviously within reason. Like if it's like a family member, I'd say try and make some crossroads, but hey, fucking whatever. But you don't have to force either someone to coalesce into your viewpoint or try and force yourself to coalesce into theirs. You can be separate. And I think being different is beautiful within reason, because also you could take it too far and be like a contrarian. Why did I put so much effort? You be a contrarian and like just try and have, you could be like a right-wing grifter who just tries to have like the furthest possible viewpoint about something, and then they're like, yep, this is what I believe. So also, it was my birthday, guys. It was my birthday, and I'm 26. And I know you guys I get the unk comments more and more and more. And I feel like now I'm in my late 20s. Hey, let's think about that real quick. Let's think about how it feels like 4 months ago I was a minor, and now I'm 26. And how does that happen? Actually, no, I feel like I've felt like very old since I turned 21. Like, this is how it goes. You turn 18 and you feel like you get the best of both worlds because you're still basically a kid, but you're an adult, and you can also do pretty much anything. And if you're in Alberta or the rest of like outside North America, you can drink and get crazy and buy weed. Well, it depends on where you live. Then you turn 19 and you start to feel a little bit old, but you're like, I'm still a teenager. Then you turn 20. And then it starts to set in. You drop the teen from your age, and it feels crazy. And then you turn 21 and you feel youthful again, because if you live in the US, then you can like drink and you're like, woo, just turned legal. And then you turn 22, and then you turn 23, you turn 24 and 25 and 26. And I realized that, like, in, some people's minds who like watch my content, they watched me when I was like freshly 19. So I understand this is probably jarring now that I'm uncle. That it has potentially been 7 years since you've seen my content. Okay, when did I start like full-time TikTok? Like 2018, the end of 2018. Oh my God. In like November, December, hey, I'll have been doing this for 8 years. How the fuck did that happen? Hello. Huh. Let me think on that for a second. Okay, just gave myself an existential crisis. I actually had a really fun birthday, and I've had a really busy birthday week, so I haven't had time to actually dwell on it, and I just had to stop and think for a second and dwell on it, and I wish I didn't. And I feel sick to my stomach a little bit that I'm closer to 30 than 20. But guys, aging is beautiful. Don't be scared of it. It is a privilege to age, because some people just fucking die. Some people just die. So be grateful every time. I'm grateful that I'm 26. I could have died. I feel like every year, the way this podcast used to be called, I almost died for 2 years, because I had so many near-death experiences where I actually almost died. So hell yeah, we made it. We made it, babies. I feel like I had something else to say to y'all, and I can't remember. Sorry if I was a little harsh. I was holding your hand the whole time when I talked about this. Could you feel me holding your hand? It was with peace and love, I hope you know. And I don't judge anyone for having poor comprehension skills or reading below a 10th grade reading level. It's okay. New video like this weekend probably. Listen, I've been on my shit. I've been busier than I've ever been in my life. Well, no, that's not true. That's actually just not fucking true. I've just been lazy for the past year, and I'm starting to like get on my shit, and it feels like I'm busy, but I'm actually not. You compare like what I do in a day to like someone who's working a 9 to 5, or like back when I worked at Bubba Gump, that was busy. This is fucking digging in my butt and playing Overwatch when I have like a spare hour. I love y'all. Thanks for all the birthday wishes, guys. You guys are so sweet. Only like a quarter of them were like just saying unk, so grateful for that. I'll see you next freaking Thursday. It might not be a podcast episode. It might be something different that I'm working on. Not a mama radio. That is coming for fall, but something different. You'll see. Love y'all. Bye. Get it. Not wasting. Swallow my